Kristen Anderson is a photographer. In the early 90s, she was a model. Her encounter with Donald Trump, she says, happened at a Manhattan nightclub. She says it lasted less than half a minute. The memories, she says, have lasted now half her lifetime. They came rushing back last Friday. The Washington Post, Karen Tumblety, broke the story. Ms. Anderson joins us now for her first live television interview. Kristen, thanks so much for being with us. If you could, first of all, take me back to that night. What happened?
I was sitting on the couch with my girlfriends.
This was at a club?
It was at a club, and I was talking to them, and next thing I know, there's a hand up my skirt. And I basically just pushed the hand away, turned and looked, got up off the couch, and we all moved. It was very packed. There were people everywhere, as it was then. And, you know, I recognized the eyebrows right away, and I turned to my girlfriends, and I was like, look at this dude. And they're like, oh, that's Donald Trump. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's Donald Trump, the eyebrows. And I was like, you know, he just stuck his hand up my skirt. Ew. And then we just sort of went off the rest of our night. We moved, and that was that.
Did he say anything to you before or after that, or during it?
No.
Had you seen that you were sitting next to Donald Trump?
I did not see that I was sitting next to him. I wasn't aware of that. I was talking to somebody here. And if you've ever been to a nightclub, that's a hot one. You know, you could be sitting next to people that you don't know. It's very easy.
Do you remember what club it was?
I'm pretty sure it was China Club because I remember the red velvet couches.
And you know, one of the things Donald Trump has said today is that he rarely went out alone, that he wouldn't have been sitting alone. Was he sitting alone? Was he sitting with other people? Do you know?
Well, the place was very packed and very crowded, so that he was alone, I doubt it. Okay. I didn't see who he was with, but there were people everywhere. I mean, he could have been sitting there alone in the midst of a crowd. I don't know. That, you know, he was sitting next to me.
Did you say anything to Donald Trump when he did this?
I didn't. I just got up and sort of made very quick eye contact and just moved.
When you made eye contact, did he acknowledge you at all, or I mean,
no, just sort of a quick glance. It was sort of like nothing really. It was very nothing.
Did your friends see what happened, or did you talk to them about what happened?
Well, right then I did. And they were all like, well, that's Donald Trump. And I said, he just put his hand up my skirt. Unfortunately, I'm not in contact with those people anymore. But quite a few of my other friends who I saw recently afterwards, of course, I told all of them. And
at the time,
you know, we had a conversation about it.
At the time, what did you think about it? I mean, it's a startling. I mean, that's a startling thing to have happen.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. It was one of those things that happened really quickly, and I pushed him off and moved away. And I sort of didn't really ponder on it that long. And I didn't tell anybody. I've seen a few people like, oh, well, you should have said something. Well, yeah, say what? To who? Like,
do you feel if you had said something to, you know, the club management or security or something like that, did you think about that at all?
I've thought about it now. Could I have said something? Maybe, but, you know, who am I going to tell? So I go to the club manager and I say, Donald Trump put his hand up my skirt. And they'll be like, yeah. And they'll go to him and say, did you do this? And he'll say no. And then where do we go from there? It's kind of like where we are now. So it's, you know, he's saying no, and there are a ton of women saying yes, and more will come out, because if it was that nonchalant, there's no way he didn't do it to many other people.
At the time, did you consider it sexual assault?
No. I didn't think of it that way, no. But assault in my mind meant something else. You know, hitting is assault. And I was very unaware with unaware of, mental abuse, manipulation, bullying. I mean, that is just straight up bullying. And maybe not exactly what happened to me, but certainly what happened to some of these other girls who didn't get up and leave very quickly.
I'm wondering, 1 week ago, when the Access Hollywood tape came out with Donald Trump and with Billy Bush on the bus and the comments, was it, I'm wondering what you thought or felt when you heard that, when you saw that?
Well, a girlfriend of mine told me about it, actually. I don't really keep up with the news and I don't really keep up with politics, so she was like, Kristen, you have to watch this video. You can't believe it, because this happened to you. And so I watched the video and I was like, wow, it's horrifying. It's horrifying. And I really felt for the girl walking into it. Like when he comes off the bus and she walks right up, she walks right into it, have no idea what he was just saying. And it's...
I actually want to play that just for our viewers so they know specifically what you're referencing. Let's watch that.
Hello, how are you? Hi.
Mr. Trump, how
nice
are
seeing
you?
you.
Pleasure to
Terrific.
meet you.
Terrific. You know Billy Bush?
How are
Nice
you?
to see you. How you doing,
Very
Ariane?
good.
Doing very well, thank you. Are you ready to be a soap star?
We're ready. Let's go. Make me a soap star.
How about a little hug for the Donald? He just got off the
Would
bus.
you like a little
Okay,
hug, darling?
absolutely.
How about a
Melania
little
said
hug
this
for the
was
bushy?
okay.
So it was that moment in particular.
That moment in particular really was very, nauseating to me. Nauseating.
Can I ask what was it about that particular moment? Because obviously there were comments before, but something about her walking into the situation, not knowing what had happened. Is that?
Well, I guess when the talk of what was going on in the bus was upsetting, obviously, and then I understood, oh, this is, here's a man who thinks he can do whatever he wants and deny it and get away with it. But when she walks into it, it's like innocence walking into the devil's den. It is scary. I felt scared for her. And probably nothing happened to her, but maybe it could have. It could have. And it happened to other women. So it was scary to me. I felt like that little fear, ooh.
We're gonna talk to Ariane Zucker later on tonight. Donald Trump, as you probably know, has attacked many of the women who have come forward. He's implied some of the accusers want 15 minutes of fame. Some he's attacked their looks. He's called them liars. His campaign has called your story a phony allegation. Says you're looking for free publicity. Why did you decide to come forward and tell what you say happened to you?
Well, mostly because there are many, many women who these things happen to, and not just with Donald Trump, but many men who feel that they can just take advantage of women and the women don't say anything. And I was just talking to a man not 2 minutes ago who said it's only 20% of adult women who actually report rape. That's adult women, not, young women who still, haven't come into their power yet. And just being able to, come out and say it and have other women come out and say it. It's okay to say it. Say it. Somebody has to say it. Otherwise, we're just being quiet and letting it happen. And also, like I said before, it's sort of a gateway. So yeah, he stuck his hand up my skirt. Was I hurt? No. Is it traumatized my whole life? No. But I let it slide. And what's the next thing that you let slide? And the next thing, and the next thing. And when is it okay? And where do you draw that line? When is that assault? Because if you can just grab a girl, grab her boobs or just throw her down and kiss her and that's not assault and that's okay, I don't get that. I don't get that. So it would be nice to have some sort of system in place to allow these women to come forward and not be sort of demonized or called all sorts of names. I've been called all sorts of names today. So
Yeah.